Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Healing Honey if it's your first time here. So today I want to share with you guys the importance of staying true to yourself. And I feel like this is really important, you guys, especially in a world where we have filters, we have social media, we have been conditioned since we were a kid to conform and to just fall in line. And everyone should be alike. Everybody should not even get to know who they really are because it doesn't matter. Just do what you're told, just fall in line. And that what that will create for you is like misalignment, feeling lost, feeling frustrated inside, because your soul is a unique expression of God, and it's our duty to stay true to ourselves, honor how we really feel and what's in our heart. And this is really going to serve you in life. I've found that you have to really tap within yourself and sometimes spend some time alone, like to get to really know who you are, so you can separate like who you are from the outside noise, from the voices that we've had in our heads our entire lives, from movies, TV, school, teachers, friends, family, just past conditioning, generational things, like traditions, things that have been passed on. But is that who you really are? Like there's stereotypes that we can fall into versus who are you really? And the only way that you can get to know that is when you just spend some time alone and you learn who you are, and then you accept that. Even though it might be different, right? You might be called weird, or this is especially true for artists, you guys. Like, I remember growing up feeling drawn to the arts, and when I was 10 years old, one of my family members was like, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And I told them we lived in LA, like Los Angeles, and so we were around a lot of like the film industry and all that. And so I was like, "Oh, I want to do hair and makeup, like for movies and TV. Like that sounds fun to me." 10 years old, talking about just not thinking about anything else besides what sounded fun to me at that time. And this family member was like, "No, you cannot do that. There's no money in that. You'll struggle, and artists don't make money. You want to be a lawyer. You want to be an entertainment lawyer." And they just like put this idea in my mind, right? So as a kid, this can happen to us, and we can be told what to think, told what to believe, and it will separate you from what's true to you, like what's really in your heart. And it's just not true, there are so many successful artists out there. And what is successful anyways? Like for me, I define success as you being in alignment, like what's really in your heart, what makes you happy, and then doing it, because that in itself is success. That in itself is the reward in this life. There's no use in conforming to, let's say, a career or a lifestyle that doesn't really serve you, because that means you're wasting your life. Like you're doing something that is going against your own soul, and you're not reaching your full potential. You're not allowing yourself to grow and bloom on account of what everyone else thinks about you when they're living their own life. Like you're the one who has to go to sleep with yourself and wake up every day. This is your life. So I just want to encourage you to stay true to you. Like whatever it is you love to do, there's prosperity in it, because it's a talent and it's God's source energy expressing itself through you. Anything you want to do, stay true to yourself. Like what is it that you like to do? This is for anything in life, okay? Career. And by the way, I ended up going to college, and I majored in journalism, and I was like, okay, well, maybe communications, right? Because I love to write and communicate like I'm doing right now, right? But inside I always had that urge. Later on in my 20s, I was like, I just started a makeup brand. Like everybody's like, what are you doing? I was working as a receptionist. I had worked at a hotel for a while. I was floating around. Why? Because I was too busy trying to do what others expected of me instead of staying true to my own heart. So finally, when I got older, I was like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm gonna launch a makeup brand. And that's exactly what I did. But you guys, the reason why I ended up stopping that and doing the work that it is I do now is because I experienced a shift. And you're going to constantly evolve in life. You're going to constantly be shifting. And so that's why it's so important to stay in tune with yourself, have this relationship with yourself so that you can honor your heart and your evolutions. You know, when I was doing my makeup brand, it was starting to take off. Like, I was excited. It was in the arts. It was creative. But I remember being on my business Instagram and wanting to post about spirituality. I was starting to have a spiritual awakening. I was really interested in my spiritual side. And I was like, and then I think the pandemic and stuff, and I was like, I have so many things to say. What the heck? These masks, this is crazy. And I couldn't post that on a makeup page. Like, people wanted to know what was up with makeup. And I was like, I remember like not even wanting to go on my business page because I was changing. And so it was so crazy when that business fell away, but I had to stay true to myself, even though it's hard, even though people are like, what are you doing? Like, are you giving up? You know? And so it's about listening to your inner voice, right? This is what this is about, and honoring that, because otherwise it'll create suffering, you know. And you guys, growing up, I'm part of a really big family, and me and one of my cousins are just really super tight. We were really, really close since we were little. And I remember she was dating this guy, and I wasn't the biggest fan of him. And I really didn't have too many solid reasons why. I had my biases of what the kind of person that I thought she should be with, right? And I remember one time we got into a huge fight because I told her, she's like, well, what do you think of him? And I told her exactly what I thought of him, and it did not go well. You know, when you're in love, you can become fiercely protective of the person that you love, right? And so that's what happened. And even though we were so close and so tight, we got into the biggest argument ever. It was a really bad situation because she was defending the person she loved. She was staying true to herself. And now, years and years later, they're married with a beautiful family, and I am so cool with him. Like, I have so much love and respect for him as a father and a husband. And what's crazy to think about is that if she would have listened to what I was saying, she wouldn't have been staying true to herself. Like, she wouldn't have the beautiful life that she has created now. She stayed true to herself, even though we were so close, even though I was her older cousin, even though she could have listened to what I was saying, she blocked that out and did what it is that was right for her, and she was right, you know? And so, like, it's another lesson in staying true to your own heart. You guys, I'm sorry if it's loud out here, like so much construction's happening. I thought I was gonna get some peace out here, but shout out to you if you're still watching. But when we talk about staying true to yourself, it's gonna require you to embrace change, honestly, and be courageous. It takes a lot of courage to be true to yourself, because you're gonna have people telling you not to do it. You're gonna have people telling you to go this way, to go that way, do it their way. What they have to say matters, but it's a challenge. It's gonna take courage, but I promise you that it will pay off. Like, to live a more fulfilling life and to just honor your heart, you're gonna feel good. You're gonna feel in alignment, and then God is gonna surprise you. The universe is gonna bring opportunities to you. It's gonna open doors for you because you're honoring your heart, which is tough to do. You know, like, change is a huge deal in life, but it's something that we have to learn to embrace. Things are constantly changing. We're here to evolve. So as you evolve, your outer world's gonna reflect that. We don't want to hold on and fear change. We don't want to fear change, because that's when problems arise in our life. Like, we want to be able to flow with life, and I know that it's so much easier said than done. You know, I've experienced this in my own life where, for example, the makeup brand, I did not want to let it go. I was struggling. I was like, I put so much of my heart and soul into this. Like, I don't want to let it go. It's unfair. Why isn't it working out? There was like a lot of things happening that were showing me, hey, it's time for you to go onto a new path, you know? And so change, it can be so hard. It can be so hard. But when you allow yourself to, and you surrender, you're gonna evolve. You're gonna grow. You're going to explore new parts of yourself. And that's what we're here to do, you know? Hold on. Okay, guys, so I had to move locations. But anyways, what really speaks to your soul? Like, what do you want to do? Because it's possible. I had this cousin growing up, and everybody thought that he was like a little bit weird because he would bring his sketchbook with him everywhere. Like if we were at a restaurant, as a kid, as a teenager, wherever we were, he had his book and his pen or his pencils, and he would be sketchy, and that's what he loved to do. He was eccentric, he was different, right? So he stood out, and people would basically feel like, okay, well, it's just a hobby, right? When it's not doctor, lawyer, it's just a hobby. If you love to cook, if you love to sketch, if you love to do makeup, if you love to write, if you love to create art, if you're a musician, these are just hobbies, right? In the world, that's how they'll try to tell you. But what ended up happening for him years and years later was he got this huge job in the field that he wanted to. He became an animator, and now he gets paid well, and his life just like took off because he didn't give up on his true heart's desire. He stayed true to himself, and it ended up working out. And it'll work out for you too, you know? And so I just want to encourage you to embrace change, break out of the box. Look within inside of you and see what's there, and then have the courage to accept it, even if it's different than what you thought, and just see what it will take you. Like, I see life as an adventure, as a discovery. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna make of our life? And the only way that we're gonna know that is if we try new things, if we take risks, if we embrace change, if we flow. It doesn't mean you're not gonna make mistakes and fail and fall down sometimes, but then you just get back up, you know? And so you're gonna learn so much in the journey, discover yourself, feel joy, and feel like alignment to your higher self, to who you really are. I think this is so important, to stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself. Drop me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know one way that you have stayed true to yourself and broken out of the box, done things that other people may have discouraged, and did it work out for you? I'm sending you so much love and so much power and healing on your journey, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care of yourself. Bye.